At the Royal meeting, he settled a record 85 winners at Royal Ascot. That number's sure to jump, you'd imagine, maybe into the 90s at the very least next week. Aidan O'Brien does join us now. Good afternoon to you, Aidan.
Good afternoon, Martin. How are you?
I'm very well indeed, thank you. We'll come on to your Royal Ascot team in a second, Aidan, but a quick word on City of Troy. You announced plans for his next start over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. The plan is for him to go to the Eclipse, Martin. So, yeah, he seems to be well since Epsom, and obviously looking forward to the next day.
And what was the thinking coming back down to the mile of the course? Because we saw at Epsom he handled the mile and a half well, and if anything, he was so strong through the line.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, obviously, long-term plan is that he could go back to America, obviously, and I think the lads are thinking. Obviously, they had the other horse for Saratoga in America for his next race. It's a race that City was going to run in, so he was a little bit green through the race in Epsom, and we just felt maybe he wasn't ready for that yet. So obviously, I think Sandown the lads are thinking he'd go to Sandown, and then he'll either go to York or Leopardstown after that, and then he could head out to America after that for the Classic. So I suppose depending on where the others fall, and I think that's a little bit of their thinking, really.
Okay, and I guess you've got to take into the mix all of the horses that both you and other trainers have got. I mean, you've got the Derby third heading for the French Derby, and they've got the horse who ran so well in the Belmont over the weekend to go to Saratoga. So Saratoga off the menu at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. For him, obviously, we maybe just thought he was a little bit babyish for it. And obviously, when you go to America, you need a lot of experience. You need to be, obviously ready for it. So we just thought it was maybe the right thing for him, not to go back to a mile and a quarter, maybe, and not to go a mile and a half this time. And then, we were lucky to have Los Angeles for the Irish Derby. So we thought that he ran a great race. And a mile and a half at the Curragh we thought would suit him. And he was ridden very forward and still ran a massive race. So we thought that, to be fair, he deserved his chance as first string wherever he was going to go next.
And City's taken his Derby exertions well?
He has, yeah. He seems well. He hasn't done a lot, obviously, but it seems to be in good form.
And I think, listening to you talking after the race, Aidan, as well, the Guineas was a non-event for him, so he's coped remarkably well for a horse going round a bend for a first time and effectively taken a jump up from 7 to a mile and a half. Yeah,
that's it. Absolutely, Martin. Never dropped in a race. He obviously never raced around a bend. He was never on anywhere like Epsom, which is can be a very demanding track at the best of times for very seasoned, experienced horses. So it was probably incredible what he did. Ryan gave him a great ride, but it's like what you said, and he changed legs going to the line and took off again. So Ryan was afraid that he just clicked into gear again as he went by the line, and he was afraid that he wasn't going to get him pulled up.
He did, thankfully, so we look forward to seeing him at Sandown on the first Saturday of July. Let's have a quick run through your team for next week, Aidan. Kyprios heading back for the Gold Cup. You must be delighted to see him back after his interrupted campaign last year.
Yeah, no, delighted. Listen, he went through a horrendous year the year before, and we were very lucky to get him back racing last year. We didn't think we would ever get him racing, but he raced and obviously ran 2 very good races. But he's had a great winter and great spring, and everyone is very happy with him at the moment. So his first 2 runs were lovely. So we're really looking forward to hopefully getting there. Obviously, he's a bit to go still, but everything looks very good at the moment.
And as a 6-year-old, Aidan, with those couple of runs under his belt this season, is he showing you that he's as good as ever?
We think he was always the same horse at home from the time he was a 2-year-old. He's always very laid back. He travels. When he goes there, he doesn't do much. He always did that. I remember running him in Newmarket as a 2-year-old in the 9 furlong race, and he just went to sleep and never woke up. So that's the way he's always been. And but he seems very well, and he's very perky and very happy in everything he's doing at the moment.
And the Gold Cup, a race that you and the whole team there at Kilmore and Ballydoyle have built up a great relationship with over the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, actually, we feel it's a very special race. It's a very unique race. Most horses with a pedigree or a middle distance pedigree will get nearly 2 miles, but when you go past that 2 miles, it just goes into unbelievable different territory altogether, and very few really get it that well. But we always think it's the horses, the stayers that have real class. It's a big help, but it's a difficult race to win, and it's a very hard race to find a horse for every year.
Well, Auguste Rodin's on the team sheet as well. How's he been since he's running the Tattersall Skull Cup?
Good. Yeah, he worked this morning, worked very well. The plan is that he goes to the Prince of Wales, and that was always the plan with his two races this year. He was working towards that. We were very happy with him. The last day ground got a bit soft, and he had a little bit of a wobble coming down the hill, but we were very happy. He ran a great race, we thought, and obviously we were using that race as a kind of a stepping stone on the way to Ascot. Was part of his programme.
And we saw him last year at the Breeders' Cup at the back end of the year, really given a super cool ride by Ryan. But looking back to his travels this year, the race out in Dubai was a bit of a non-event first time round.
Yeah, we tactically probably didn't make the right decisions there. We just took the view to drop him in and take our time, and that's what Ryan did, which we had thought was the right thing to do. And then they only hacked. It was a very slow run race, and I think William controlled the race from in second place, and anyone that was handy got into the race, and if you didn't, you never got into it. So that was just the way it was, and it didn't work for us. And obviously Ryan accepted it very early, which was the right thing, because he knew he had no chance. And but he came out of the race very well. And obviously everything was right with him between Dubai and the Curragh. And like I said, we were very happy with his Curragh run, other than he didn't win.
Is there any concern at all, Aidan, bringing him back to Ascot, given what happened in the King George last year?
I don't think so. King George was a bit of an non-event too. We thought he was drawn very wide, and it was soft ground, and he was kind of on the back foot where he was the whole way through the race, and just never clicked into gear, never got a chance of getting into it, you know. So I don't think so. Obviously, that was another one of his disappointing runs, but the same thing, Ryan looked after him when he knew he wasn't going to get into it, and he obviously thought the next day very quickly on him.
Well, we'll look ahead to the St James's Palace, which could be one of the races of the week. Is Henry Longfellow got a rocket there?
He is. That's the plan at the moment. Everything is well with him since the last day. France, we just did the same thing. We made the wrong decision tactically that we'd drop him in, and when he did, there was no pace on, and it just became very messy up the straight. Every time Ryan tried to get out, he couldn't get out. So really, his chance was gone when any gaps appeared or any racing line came, you know. So like we felt it was a bit of a non-event as well, and Ryan did as well, and he came out of the race well, and everything's been well with him since, and we're looking forward to seeing him in Ascot.
And he's really got to be stepping into the fire on the St James's Palace Stakes. It looks a really hot renewal this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is, and isn't that great? That's the way you want it to be. All the horses are going to line up and be there, and I think that's what makes it exciting. Those good races, you want them competitive, win, lose or draw. Everybody learns plenty from it, and we'll know what road to go after that.
Continuous, Aidan, we've not seen him since the Arc de Triomphe last year. That was the Ledger winner, of course, last season. Is he on course for the Hardwick?
He is, yeah. Everything is good. That's the plan. He obviously hasn't run, so he will come on from the run. But that was the plan. He's in good form. We think he'll like Ascot. He's a lovely, genuine horse, so it'll be a nice start back from him, and look forward to seeing him running, really.
You say he's not had a run this season, but you have had him away a couple of times, haven't you?
We have, yeah. We've had him away twice. But he is a big gross horse now, and he did really mature from last year. So I think no matter what we do with him, he's definitely going to improve from the run.
And with him, Aidan, have you almost been working back again from the Arc de Triomphe as regards his campaign?
We think so. Like, we think he's that type of horse, and we think he'll be able to compete at the top level in all those mile-and-a-half races. And obviously, we didn't start him early, so he should go into the autumn, hopefully a fresh horse.
Opera singer for the coronation, you were pleased with her comeback run, albeit she was defeated in the Irish Guineas, but overall, given it was a late start to the campaign for her, you were happy with what you saw? Yeah, very happy. Listen, she was only in full work, would you believe, probably 5 weeks before the Curragh, so we really couldn't expect her to run any better than she did. We didn't expect her to run that well, really. We were thinking a nice run mid-div, and she'd come on a lot from it. So obviously she ran like an absolute blinder. Everything has been good with her since, and we think she's come forward plenty since then. And she was a beautiful-looking 2-year-old, Aidan. Has she developed physically into a nice-looking 3-year-old?
Yeah, she's big. She's typical Justified, big, strong, powerful mare. Great mind. Very very great mind. Great mover. Very genuine.
And as regards the 2-year-olds, how many of those do you think you're going to be bringing across next week?
Yeah, we'll. I suppose we'll run a horse called Camille Pissarro in the Coventry. He won first time, got beat second time. We think he was green, Ryan thought, so we think he's going to come forward from that. And then the Queen Mary, we have a filly called Heaven's Gate. She won last time. Cora won nicely. 6 she won. She had just got beat over 5 the first day. So we're going back to 5 with her. It could be a little bit sharp, but we'll see. Then Norfolk, we have a horse called Whistlejacket. He won. He got beat first time by one of Joseph's and came out and won very easy the next time. And then the Windsor Castle, we have a horse called Treasure Isle. He won at Naas. So we think, we think he should run a nice race as well. And then in the Albany what day is the Albany? On Friday, we have a filly called Fairy Godmother. She won at Naas last time. We really liked her. And then we've in Chesham on Saturday, we have a filly called Bedtime Story that won in Leopardstown the last day, maiden. So we like her as well. So hopefully they'll run well. We think racing obviously is very competitive in Ascot, and hopefully they will run well.
And is there any one of those 2-year-olds in particular, Aidan, that's really got you excited?
I know. So we like them all, and we think they're all very smart horses, and obviously they wouldn't be there if we didn't. Obviously with 2-year-olds you think they're good, but they don't always win first time. They can get beat and then do it the second time, and they can let you down as well. But we think they're all smart, very high quality group horses, and could be more, so and that's why we're going with them, and obviously, but you're never sure until you run and see it over there. But obviously the horses like Whistlejacket got beat first time. We got beat very well by one of Joseph, but then won very nice the next time. So Camille Pissarro the same. We won very nice first time, got beat the second time, but we felt that there was reasons for that as well. So those type of horses, hopefully, Martin.
And we just said at the top there, 85 winners at the Royal Meeting. We saw Willie Mullins this year take out 100 winners at the Cheltenham Festival. You'd imagine that number's going to come around to you in the next couple of years at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, obviously, Martin. Yeah, we don't ever really think about numbers or anything like that. Really, anything at all like that. We always try take one day at a time, one race at a time, and try and do the right thing by the horses as they're coming along all the time. And then whatever happens, and be grateful for it and appreciate whenever any of those horses win. Really, so that's the way we always approach it. Really, and just keep doing our best every day. That's all we can do, really.
Well, it's a really strong team, Aidan. Many thanks for taking the time out to join us today, and the very best of luck over the course of the 5 days next week.
Appreciate it, Martin. Pleasure. Thanks very much.
Come on. Aidan O'Brien there. 12 times the leading trainer at the Royal Meeting, 85 winners on the board. That's the lowdown on his team for next week. The ultimate guide to Royal Ascot available through the Ascot mega site or the micro site, whichever way you look at it. Aidan's actually on there with his stable tour. Tips and odds, horses to follow, expert insight stats, the weather forecast, and much more. All on attheraces.com, and it all gets underway next Tuesday.